Good evening, my fellow reefers. Welcome back to another episode. So today's video, it's probably going to be fairly short just because it's more of a product review than anything else. Now, as you can kind of see in my main display, I have quite a few corals here. And to be honest, it's, watching them grow, it's become a little bit boring because essentially all the spots are filled and I just really don't have too many more places to put corals. I mean, I can fill a couple additional spots maybe here on the sides, but all the top spots here are just completely filled with SPS. So, not being able to buy coral kind of makes it just, I would say, a little bit boring, unfortunately. And the only thing I can really think of to do at this point would be either fill the sand bed right here, which I honestly prefer more of that cleaner look, so I would honestly prefer not to have anything on the sand bed, which is something I plan on tackling in kind of a future episode. I do maybe have some spots here on the sides to grow some additional sticks, but for the most part, like for example, this main rock here, it is just filled with coral, and I just have a couple more frags here on the top, and after these, start growing in as well, I'm just really not going to have all that much room. Now, to basically combat that, I had, one thought, which would be either move things around, and the other one was to just fill some space I have open. Mainly the ones I were thinking of were this corner and that corner. And obviously you can see which corner is bigger at this point. So my thought was to essentially add a structure here to this side where I could put some additional coral, it won't be too much in the way, and it'll basically fill some empty spots that I wasn't able to kind of do when I was setting up the tank. Because once, some of these corals start growing in, you really don't have the ability to aquascape anymore, and not being able to add those additional rocks, you can see here, I just have kind of like an empty hole right here, which is just another spot that could be filled with coral that I'm currently not able to fill. So to fix this issue, I essentially had this guy built for me. So this is actually from a gentleman I know quite well, Michael with Reef Oasis. He builds these super awesome little, macro rock kind of pillar things that a lot of people use, for example, in like the little nano tanks, but I wanted something built here that could fit in that corner perfectly, where I could just add, maybe a couple more additional corals just to fill up a little bit of space and just kind of make it a lot more clean, but still very full. So for the piece that he basically commissioned for me, we have just kind of 3 little levels right here, and it is actually on a acrylic kind of a hang-on back type of deal. So it'll hang off of the back rim of the S1000, which does not have a Euro brace like the front and the sides do, but it'll just hang right on back, which with this black is kind of cool. It kind of just disappears, which is really awesome. And now originally I had asked to do kind of like a magnet, for example, but because, with these pieces it's so heavy, the magnet route just really wasn't viable, just because, the last thing I would want is for this thing, which weighs quite a couple pounds, I would say like 5, 6, 7 pounds maybe. I wouldn't want it to fall off and just destroy all the coral, or even worse, to fall off and destroy the tank, especially with all of this livestock. So basically, in the last week or so, we've had this commissioned and brought over, and it is time to get it into the house. Now you can see here, it's already a little bit on the wet side, but what I like to do is just maybe get like an old bucket. I actually did a water change a couple days ago, and I took that dirty water and I used it just to kind of dunk it in a couple times just to get all the dust and whatnot off, so it's nice and clean. But basically we're just going to pick this guy right up and we're going to slide it right into the tank. And with the structure back on, you can kind of see it's not quite at the front glass, the side glass here, so I don't have to worry about the cleaning. That black color just absolutely, it just disappears. You can still see it sit here on the top, but that's fine. But inside the tank, it's actually really cool. I know my tank's a little dirty right now. but it actually really just kind of disappears, which I think is super nice. And you kind of have a little, you know, empty spot back here for the little critters and such to hide. And plenty of places for coral. Here it looks pretty darn good. It would have been cool if I could add maybe another layer, but hey, it's okay the way it is. You know, we'll definitely be able to get some coral growing on it. I may have to adjust the flow here on the reef waves to point up a little bit more, so whatever corals, you know, I do put up there don't get just absolutely destroyed by flow. But I should be able to add quite a couple little SPS. I still have about, I would say, 4 inches or so from the top of the tank. So I should be able to dial it in so I get good flow, but not just absolutely rip the flesh off whatever I put there. And from a kind of a side view, you can maybe see it a little bit better. We just have, you know, a couple sticking out points for more coral. We do have a little space back here that might be a pretty good hidey hole for one of my fish. I'm hoping my Midas Blenny kind of enjoys it, because he actually sleeps above this power head right here, which is a little bit dangerous because he could be basically turned into chum. But yeah, so far this looks pretty darn good. From the front, it's really nice because you actually can't see the black acrylic in the back. It actually completely disappears, which is super awesome. So I don't have to worry about it just kind of not matching. It really just blends right in, and we really just have to wait until all the rocks like this, so we just really have to wait until this rock actually turns purple with coralline like the other ones, which is going to happen in due time. But overall, I do really like it. It's going to give me the option to buy a couple more frags, maybe something a little bit more high-end for this tank, just to try out, since most of my coral are pretty much on the cheaper point. But yeah, hopefully it lets me add a couple more corals to the tank. I'm hoping for a couple more sticks, maybe something a little bit more expensive that has a bit more color to it. I think that would be super cool. So it's now been another couple of weeks, and I just wanted to show you guys before we go on this episode what it looks like now. We have just a couple of mariculture colonies on here that we've just, you know, decided to put up there. These bigger colonies are going to stay. This frag I'm just keeping here on the side because I have nowhere else to put it. These are all ASD rainbow millies. Super, super beautiful stick coral. But just to kind of give you an idea, you know, we're going to have it grow out right on top of this. We still have a couple inches on the top right there, so, you know, it won't be growing right at the surface. And then there's still enough room in the middle where I can maybe grow something on the sides, or we can just let this coral grow out. But yeah, putting this piece right here really just ties in this space right here, so we're not just, you know, completely out of room, and it just looks super, you know, super simple and super clean. So, you know, hopefully these grow really well where they are right now. Like I said, they are mariculture colonies, so sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not great. But the color so far, this one is just straight blue. It's really cool, like a light baby blue. It's one of the weirdest corals I've seen, but hopefully it does super well. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. And like I said, if you are interested, I'll go ahead and link his information down below. He's super popular in California. He does a lot of these, you know, negative space, aquascape type of things. And I definitely do think things like this are absolutely worth it. But thank you guys as always for watching. And I'll see you on the next episode.